So it's been a while. It's been a while since I've done an Arsenal video. I think about a week, and so much things have happened. First, we went and slaughtered Slavia Prague 4-0. Great. Got through to the next round. Villarreal. Brilliant. Big two thumbs up for Arsenal. Then, hear this, we go and face Fulham and absolutely played like crap. Never saw it coming. Gotta admit, didn't see it coming. I thought, you know what, Arsenal could probably pepper them 5-0, or, you know, maybe a reasonable prediction would have been like 2-1, 3-1, because I personally think Fulham are a good side. They've been playing pretty well recently, but they just struggled to score goals. But they do manage to crank out a lot of draws, or maybe a slight win. But still, I thought it's the Arsenal. Arsenal would get through with them. No, we didn't. It took an Eddie Nketiah late goal tap in to be able to get something out of the game. For me, just not good enough. And into the biggest news of them all, because of how badly Arsenal played, no one was interested in talking about the Fulham loss. Everybody was more interested in hearing the fact that Arsenal are now in a European Super League. It's coming. It's happening. And I just had to give my opinions on it, because before I just thought it was more suggestion, but now it seems that's not quite the case. It seems that the European Super League is announced. This is according to the Arsenal website. We have just joined 11 European clubs as founding members of the new midweek competition, the European Super League. Now, Arsenal joined the likes of Man City, Manchester United, Tottenham, Chelsea and Liverpool, and it means that football, well, look, let's talk about Arsenal, for instance. A lot of their financial worries are probably going to be all gone, and it means that Arsenal as a club are then going to probably maintain their big club status just due to the amount of money that is due to come in with this European League, or European Super League. And the numbers that I talked about is 3.5 million just to help them get set up with the whole new infrastructure and all that. Sorry, 3.5 billion, I repeat that. So Spurs, who spent basically like $1 billion to do their club up, it means that they can now repay off their stadiums and whatever loans that they've taken out during these COVID periods. And they'll probably be able to keep their best players. So the likes of like Harry Kane, if he chooses to stay, will also get they'll be able to deal with that. And now, you know, the traditional big six will be able to go to other teams in Europe who have talented young players and basically bully them into selling their best players by just offering them ridiculous amounts of money. Now, I don't think that they're going to get 3.5 billion every single season from this European Super League. My guess is that it'll probably be around maybe 300,000-400,000, dependent on the TV revenue, and you probably have to say that's probably going to change over the first kind of 3 to 4 years, depending on what agreements are put in place in regards to that. But financially for Arsenal, it is fantastic. You can see why the Kroenkes voted for this and wanted to go forward ahead with this. But it's terrible for football. The West Hams of this world who are doing really well this season, the Leicesters who are continuously over the past several years been doing well this season as well, they won't be in the competition. And it means that for teams like them who are doing really well in the league, they're not going to get rewarded for something like this. This European Super League, from everything that I've really read and had time to think about it, it's just all about maintaining the status quo. And in football, for football, this isn't great. You know, we as fans, we as football fans, even if you're not fans of particular clubs, you know, you want to see those kind of surprise teams. When Leicester won the league, you know, I watched all of Leicester. It was great to see Leicester win the league. You know, I'd prefer obviously Arsenal to do it, but you know, that's what the Premier League is all about. You know, teams, whoever can beat anybody, whoever can win the league can beat anyone, and it's just a shame that we are approaching a situation whereby those days are probably going to be over, um, which is sad. Right now, they're talking about the fact that they want to work together with UEFA and my guess is probably because they want to still have Champions League and all the different cup competitions. But it's too many games. I don't understand how you're going to fit this in. Like, how do you deal with what Europa League and Champions League? Those traditional top six. What are they going to do? Like, they can't be in the Champions League as well as in this European Super League all at the same time. And on top of that, I know I'm just speaking about English teams, but you got teams, the top three teams from Spain, or at least in terms of brand awareness, that's Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, and Real Madrid. And then you have who are the other ones? Let me just take a look at this here. Yeah, you got Inter Milan, AC Milan, and Juventus. Right now, no sign of Germany. And actually, I just heard this morning that Dortmund have ruled themselves out. They said that they don't want to join the Super League. But you would have to say that if Bayern choose to join the Super League, that would Dortmund then turn around and change their mind? Because Dortmund going to need the money to kind of keep up with Bayern. You could believe that Bayern are probably going to be bringing in the best players in the world. Definitely the best German players will then go to Bayern. It's going to completely destabilize the domestic leagues, which is a shame. And I guess Arsene Wenger was right that a lot of the domestic leagues will kind of falter, and it's just going to be this one massive kind of European league, which again, it's not great for football. Great for the individual clubs if you support them, but not great for football. But what does this mean? I've heard stories about them talking about potentially banning players from the Champions League, banning players from international competition for being part of this European Super League. Well, I'm going to tell you right now. Let's say, for instance, Belgium, European country. They, like, if you look at some of their best players, you've got Hazard, De Bruyne, Lukaku. Hazard plays for Inter Milan, De Bruyne City, and Lukaku for Inter Milan. Do you really see Belgium banning those three players from playing for their national team? Three players that could help them win a World Cup, which is what they want to win. Do you think that Belgium are going to allow UEFA to go up and do something like that? Even look at England, for instance. You think England are really going to go and ban Maguire and Rashford and Sterling and Shaw and all these other English players who play for those top six clubs? Because when you really look at it, I mean, it's only what? Rice, Phillips at Leeds, who really play for non-top traditional six sides. Everybody else plays for a top six side. I mean, it's only Calvin Phillips and Declan Rice that you would say that it's really going to be the ones whereby they're still going to be in the England squad. Like, there's no way England are going to not have Harry Kane as their main guy and drop him just because he plays for Tottenham. They're not going to go to going from Harry Kane to Calvert-Lewin up front with Nathan Redmond on the left. It's not going to happen. It just isn't. So there are many things that need to be done, and it explains to me why UEFA would do today to put out the new format, confirm the new format for the Champions League, Europa League, and the new European Conference. Because now that sent everything all out of whack. Like, because now what exactly is it that you do? Because now I guess it doesn't affect too much the conference part, because most of the teams that will be in there are not going to be part of that kind of top six. But it incredibly affects the Champions League clubs. It weakens the Champions League. It weakens the Europa League by a lot. It weakens the Premier League overall. And it's a real shame. It's a real shame that's had to happen for football purposes, like the overall football game. The individual clubs, you know, those 6 English clubs that are in it, I'm sure that the owners of those clubs are going to be happy because they're going to be getting lots of money. And even though fans are unhappy right now, if this goes on ahead, after about 15, 20 games of boycotts from fans, fans are going to continue watching. Like, they're going to continue watching on TV, even if they don't come to stadiums, because this COVID stuff has proved it. They're going to put more onus on the TV revenue. There's going to be a lot more money in the TV revenue, and if it means it's going to be global TV, and especially when, you know, right now we only know that there's these founding 12 members. There's another 3 that they're kind of talking about, which, I mean, I guess they're probably looking at PSG, Bayern Munich, and Dortmund. You know, after those ones, if those 3 decide to go through, then there's another 5 that they say you have to qualify for. Who's to say that they don't then look at, let's say, the Dutch league, the MLS, maybe South American league, or on whoever else. This isn't good for football. And it's just really all about money and maintaining the status quo, which, again, isn't great for football. And I keep saying it isn't great for football because I'm not going to lie, like, I want my club Arsenal to do well. I want us to go and dominate. It's just a shame that it's probably going to be like this overall. And I don't see how this is going to change. You know, Arsene Wenger was right. Like, he talked about it back in, 2019, that he kind of foresaw this, and he even said that there were silent people in the background, just, you know, this is what they wanted. This has been on the cards for well over 10 years, and now it's coming to fruition. And with the whole COVID situation, clubs are feeling the need to want to do this. They really are. So far, Dortmund have rejected it, so you could say that maybe the Germans are looking at, like, kind of the football purists, the art of it as a whole. But even if Dortmund don't want to, I mean, there'll be other teams out there who are going to gladly accept this, which is a shame. But it's an interesting factor because to all the fans of those clubs that are in there, and not just the English clubs, the Inter Milans, the AC Milans, Juventuses, who they want the best players. They want to win things. They want to bring in the best players. And in order to do that, you need the most amount of money to be able to do that. Now, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do in terms of getting those best players, because a lot of those best players are going to tend to be with those other teams that are within this competition, which is the biggest problem of it all, which is why I feel like fans are not going to be able to not watch this European Super League, because the best players in the world will be there. The Ronaldos, the Messis, the Lewandowskis, the Kanes, the Aubameyangs, they're all going to be there. And I don't see how you don't want to watch that. And I think they're putting fans in a difficult situation. And I don't think that long-term fans are going to be like, we're never watching football again. I just don't see it happening. If their club is in there and they've got the best players in the world, for instance, if Arsenal had Haaland, do you really think, Arsenal fans, are you really not going to watch Haaland play for Arsenal? Really? You're not going to watch Haaland play for Arsenal? Yeah, it's in the European Super League. Let's say, for instance, somehow the Premier League kick Arsenal out of the Premier League, but they're in this new Super League where they're playing against the best teams in Europe and maybe the best teams in the world, for instance. Do you really see that happening? I don't. I think over time, fans will eventually accept it. Maybe the football fan base will diminish over time. Maybe you won't have the sense of tribalism when it comes to football compared to, let's say, US sports, for instance, whereby, for me, the lack of wins and losses almost don't kind of matter. And I know Zlatan, when he was at LA Galaxy, brought it up. Like, LA Galaxy was the best team in the league in the MLS, with the amount of wins that they got, the least amount of losses, and obviously they got a fair amount of draws as well. But it's all going to this US model, and it's because of the owners, the US owners, and they own the clubs, and they could almost do anything that they want to do with it. But I will say this, the power is only in one group player's hands. One set of a group whereby they for sure can make a difference. And it's not the fans, because it really isn't. It really isn't the fans. I know people are saying it's the fans because of what's going on now with COVID, but once you change the way in which the amount of money clubs make from advertising, if that was to increase by 4, then that kind of changes things, like big time. The only group that can change this are the football players. The players have to be the ones to say they don't want to do this, that they refuse to play, that they refuse to go to sides that that are in that Super League. It's the only way. And if the players don't, then it will continue. Because even though that for every fan out there who disagrees with this, there's still going to be fans as soon as it's going to be Arsenal versus Real Madrid or something like that. There's going to be at least a couple more fans that are like, they're going to go watch that game. So I'll put it out there to everyone. What are your thoughts on this? What do you think? Do you support Arsenal's decision in doing this? Will you watch games? And I think that's the key part. Will you be watching Arsenal within this new competition? Because I'm going to be honest, like, I probably still would watch Arsenal in this competition, even though I think it's terrible for football. Great for Arsenal as a business, but terrible for football overall. I'd probably still be watching it. Leave your comments below overall on these new developments. Leave your comments below on what you thought about the Fulham game. I know I've hardly talked about it, but like, the Fulham game almost doesn't matter, because this is something completely new, whole new. It's just going to change the way how football is. So leave your comments below. We'd love to hear you guys' thoughts, and I'll see you all next time on my next video, which should be somewhere probably Wednesday, when we are due to face Everton on Friday.